What are eggs without hash browns? And I've got the easiest recipe ever. It's my mom's version, which is sort of like Bubble and Squeak, which is just British hash browns. And potatoes are really workhorses in the kitchen. Once I get these done, they'll hold while I get started on the rest of my breakfast, pancetta-fried eggs. To get started on my hash browns, I have cooked russet potatoes. I just put these in the microwave. You can do whatever you like, just as long as they get fork tender. You want them nice and soft and the skin pulling away. And I love using russets or any mashed potato. You just want them really nice and soft and starchy. That way they work great in this dish. I'm going to roughly chop my potatoes, and I like to keep the skin on. You can take it off if you prefer that, but I just like to keep it really rustic, really simple. This recipe really could not be simpler. It's just potatoes, a little bit of butter, salt, pepper, and garlic. So next up, getting my garlic ready. I'm using 3 garlic cloves, and I'm gonna mince them very finely in a garlic press. You can mince this by hand as well. I like using the garlic press because I kind of want the garlic to sort of melt away into the potatoes. So this also smashes them and gets them a little bit softer. Well, I'm ready to get cooking. To get started on my hash browns, I'm just going to take a heated pan and drizzle a little bit of olive oil in it. That's about right. I just want the whole pan to be nice and coated. And then straight into that, I'm putting my garlic, and I'm cooking this very quickly. Garlic can burn instantly, so I'm gonna keep an eye on this. I'm going to add my potatoes right on top of the garlic and oil. And I'm going to pat it down until it forms a disc. And I'm smashing it down with my spatula because I really want to sear that side of the potatoes. I want it nice and crunchy. Now, so I'm going to add some salt and pepper on top. And I'm going to drizzle it with a little more oil. This looks ready to flip, so I'm just going to chop it up into quarters. Makes it easier to turn. And I'm gonna take my spatula, I'm going to flip. And it's okay if it's not perfect. This is an imperfect science. You just, in general, wanna cover as many different sides of the potatoes as you can. So I'm just gonna keep flipping until this whole thing is turned over, and then press back down with my spatula, searing it again. And once this has had time to get really crusty on the bottom, I'm gonna flip it again. And I want the potatoes to be really well seasoned, so I'm going to add a little bit of salt and then some pepper. I'm going to give these a flip. Ooh, that looks really good. What I'm looking for is for an even coating of golden brown. So once every little bit and nook and cranny of these potatoes has a little bit of crispiness to it, that's when I know I'm done. Well, my potatoes look perfect. I'm gonna pop these in the oven and get started on my eggs. My potatoes are waiting for me in the oven, so I'm gonna get started on my pancetta-fried eggs. And this is actually easier than bacon and eggs. I'm using one pan, and they both cook at the same time, so how easy is that? I'm starting with my pancetta, which is basically Italian bacon. It's cut really thin, so it cooks super quick. I'm going to pop my pancetta onto an oiled saucepan. Ooh, doesn't that sound wonderful? So I'm doing a couple of medallions because pancetta cooks really quickly. Well, that's starting to look really crispy, so I'm gonna give it a flip. Now, I'm going to crack my egg right on top of it, and the fun thing here is that the egg whites they go all into the pancetta, so it kind of becomes one unit, one delicious bite. And the pancetta, which is a little bit salty, seasons the egg really well. And now, while the other side of the pancetta is cooking, the egg will cook too. I like mine sunny side up, but if you like it over easy, or however you like your egg, go ahead and cook it as usual. Well, this looks done, so I'm gonna plate it with my hash browns and give it a taste. This looks delicious, and I gave it a little hit of parsley. It just sort of elevates all the flavors, and it's really bright and tasty. So I'm gonna give it a try. I wanna get a little bite of everything, so poking the yolk. Ooh. I could put a fried egg on top of anything. It's one of my favorite things to eat. Got a bite of the pancetta, got a little bit of the yolk. All it needs is some hash browns. That is breakfast. Oh, it tastes so good. And I love the pancetta in this dish. It's very different from bacon. It's super delicate, very mild. It's not smoked at all. And I love what it brings to this dish. It makes it so easy. It crisps up in no time, and one pan to wash. How great is that?